So you want to buy an island. Find a speck of sand somewhere warm, hire a boat captain, watch the water taxis come in. But here's the strange part. An island is the only piece of real estate on Earth where the price tag has almost nothing to do with the land itself. And it's also the asset where billionaires with unlimited money keep making the exact same expensive mistakes. Anyway, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it actually costs to own one. Why the sticker price is the smallest number in the entire deal. Why some of the richest people alive have lit their island purchases on fire, sometimes literally, and why one man bought his for less than a used car, and it still went wrong. Islands come in 3 sizes, and just like everything else billionaires buy, they're 3 completely different businesses. The entry tier starts absurdly low. A quarter-acre titled island in Nicaragua's Isletas de Granada, 10 minutes by boat from a colonial city, lists for around $74,000. A 6-acre undeveloped plot off Nova Scotia goes for about $60,000. You get land, a title, and nothing else. No power, no water, no dock. The mid-tier is where things get real. A 40-acre developed estate in the Bahamas with a house, staff quarters, and its own airstrip runs anywhere from $2 million to $20 million. This is the actual vacation home tier, livable the day you close. Then there's the top tier, where the price stops being about the island and starts being about who's selling it. London's Heathrow, technically not an island, but bear with the comparison, sold for £8.7 billion in 2024. On the private island side, fully developed trophy properties with resorts attached run from $50 million into the hundreds of millions. But the listing price is only half the story. Buyers of undeveloped islands spend on average 1.8 times the purchase price before the place is actually livable. Buy a $500,000 island, budget $900,000 total. Buy a $2 million island, budget $3.6 million. Power, water, a dock, a generator, none of that is included, and none of it is optional. 2 costs nobody mentions in the listing. The first is legal ownership. In the Philippines, Indonesia, and Thailand, foreigners cannot own land outright. You're leasing for 50 to 99 years through a corporate structure, not buying. In the South Pacific generally, most island sales are actually long leaseholds. You can spend $2 million on an island you don't legally own in the way you think you do. The second is geography deciding your price for you. A tiny island in the Bahamas with an airstrip nearby can cost more per acre than a massive Pacific island with nothing around it, because location and accessibility account for roughly 80% of an island's value. The land itself is a rounding error. Here's the part that explains why billionaires specifically want islands, and not just big houses. Picture a hotel. Normally, a hotel room can be sold to a different guest every single night, forever. Now imagine a hotel with exactly 1 room, and only 1 person on Earth is ever allowed to book it. You. That's what a private island actually is financially. It's a single unit of real estate with a monopoly on its own existence. There is exactly 1 Necker Island. There is exactly 1 Lanai. You cannot build a competitor next door. That scarcity is the entire business model. Richard Branson bought Necker Island in the British Virgin Islands in 1978 for $180,000. Today it's estimated to be worth $100 to $150 million. An increase of roughly 700 times. Not because the sand improved, because the only island Richard Branson lives on became the asset, not the 74 acres underneath it. The clearest example of scale is Larry Ellison. In 2012, the Oracle co-founder bought 98% of Lanai, Hawaii's 6th largest island, for $300 million. That included 88,000 acres, 2 Four Seasons resorts, and 2 golf courses. He then spent an estimated $450 million more rebuilding 1 resort alone, and has put roughly $500 million into the island beyond the original purchase. Total investment north of $800 million for something the market had already valued at $300 million a decade earlier. Ellison isn't just renting out hotel rooms. He owns the island's only grocery store, its only gas station, and its newspaper. When you own the whole island, you're not in the hospitality business anymore. You're the entire local economy, and every dollar spent on Lanai eventually flows back to you in one form or another. Every functioning private island is running a small, self-contained country, and the machinery is invisible on purpose. There's no city water main to your island, so you build desalination. There's no power grid, so you build solar arrays or diesel generators. And you set aside cash every year for when the battery banks in desalination membranes wear out, typically 12 years before full replacement. There's no road, so every trip in or out needs a boat, a seaplane, or a helicopter, each with its own fuel bill, maintenance schedule, and insurance policy. None of this is visible to a guest sipping a drink on the beach. That's the point. The entire infrastructure budget exists so nobody staying there ever has to think about where the water came from. So with scarcity pricing, resort income, and a captive audience with nowhere else to go, why does owning an island cost so much to simply keep running? A modest, developed island with a house and a small staff runs $84,000 to $310,000 a year just in upkeep before you've hosted a single guest. A larger island with a full luxury operation can clear $500,000 a year in fixed costs alone. Staffing is the biggest line. A full luxury resort island needs a general manager on $150,000 to $300,000 a year, plus housekeeping, chefs, boat crews, and security $600,000 to $1.8 million annually in payroll before anyone checks in. Add insurance at $50,000 to $120,000 a year for property, liability, and marine coverage combined. Add transport and logistics, another $75,000 to $250,000 a year. And this is true whether you visit 12 times a year or never once. The bills don't pause when the island is empty. Two mistakes sink island owners over and over, and they're almost identical to the mistakes that sink casinos and resorts everywhere else. Mistake 1, building for the wrong buyer. In 1971, A&P grocery store heir Huntington Hartford poured a chunk of his $90 million inheritance into a resort project on Paradise Island in the Bahamas, aimed at a luxury crowd that never fully materialized the way he expected. The losses compounded for years. By 1992, Hartford filed for bankruptcy, down from what would be over $1 billion in today's money to less than $1 million in total assets. Don't build a resort assuming the guests will show up just because the beach is nice. Mistake 2, underestimating that nature doesn't care how rich you are. Richard Branson's Necker Island, despite being one of the greatest island investments in history, has been destroyed twice. In 2011, a lightning strike during Hurricane Irene burned the main house to the ground, while 20 guests, including Kate Winslet, fled the flames. In 2017, Hurricane Irma tore through and did it again. Branson rebuilt both times at enormous cost because insurance and cash reserves can absorb a disaster that would end a smaller owner completely. And then there's the smallest scale of all. In 1967, John Lennon bought Dornish Island off the coast of Ireland for the Beatles-era equivalent of about $2,000, 19 acres, no infrastructure, nothing. He let a small commune of hippies live there for 2 years. They left. Yoko Ono eventually sold the island in 1984 for roughly £30,000. It's a rounding error compared to Necker or Lanai, but the lesson is identical at every price point. An island with no plan for who actually lives there or uses it just sits there, quietly costing you money. Step back for a second. An island is sold to you as real estate, but it behaves like a small, isolated nation. It has its own power grid, its own water supply, its own economy, its own weather risk, and no neighbor to call for help when something breaks. A house on the mainland can lean on the city around it. An island can't lean on anything. Every single system has to work, all the time, with no backup except the one you paid to build yourself. That's the paradox. The scarcity that makes an island valuable, being the only one, cut off from everything, is the exact same isolation that makes it brutally expensive to keep alive. Time to pull it together. 3 real scenarios. Option 1, the $74,000 entry-level island. Nicaragua, a quarter-acre, no infrastructure. Add the 1.8 times multiplier for basic power and a dock, and you're at roughly $130,000 total. No staff, no rental income, pure personal retreat. This is the own a piece of paradise tier, not an investment, a hobby. Option 2, the $2 million developed Caribbean estate. Add a caretaker, insurance, and basic upkeep, and you're spending $150,000 to $300,000 a year to hold it. Rent it out for buyouts a few weeks a year at $10,000 to $30,000 a week, and you can offset a meaningful chunk of the carrying cost, but you're not getting rich. You're subsidizing a very nice vacation home. Option 3, the full Necker scale operation. $100 million plus in asset value, $500,000 to $1 million a year in running costs, and a resort business renting the whole island out at over $100,000 a night during peak weeks. At that scale, the island isn't a house anymore. It's a hospitality company that happens to have a 74-acre building. So if you're going to buy an island, just remember the one rule that applies at every price point, from $2,000 to $800 million. The ocean doesn't know how much you paid, and it doesn't offer refunds.